Hello, everyone. This is your Slay Queen, your Slay Coach, and I help empower you to face your fears and insecurities by using basic life and leadership philosophies, aka Slay, so you know what we came to do here. So today's session is about how to write that book. Now, many of us are dreaming about writing that book, but we're not sure how we get to doing that. I do recall when I started to write my book that I didn't even know where to begin. I received a text message from someone that I know, and they said, "Hey, why don't you write a book about your experiences in the United States Air Force and what slay means?" And so I'm thinking, man, I've got 30 years of military career experiences. Where do I even start? And so today I want to share with you all the 3 secrets to how I was able to write my very first book. So that way it helps to encourage, motivate, inspire you to write that book that you've been wanting to write for a very long time. So number 1 is we have to hold ourselves accountable to write that book. Now, holding ourselves accountable may be a little difficult for some of us. Now, I am somewhat of a procrastinator. I will put things off if I could until the very last minute. So when I decided to write this book, initially I was just freehanding. I was writing down, information that I had in my mind. I took some of my journals because I like to journal. So throughout my career, I had all of them laid out. And then I decided, hey, I'm going to take bits and pieces from each one of these journals and start writing my book. Well, so that worked for a short period of time until I realized that I needed to start creating writing goals. So I started creating these writing goals to where I decided when was I going to write. So for me, it was on the weekends. It was either on Saturday or Sunday at the time because I was working a full work day and I was so tired at the end that I didn't really have the energy to pour into it. So I decided on Saturdays and Sundays. And so that worked for a little bit until I decided, hey, you know what? I need to come up with how many words am I going to write and for how long? So I started out with maybe 2 hours and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to try to write at least 100 to 200 words in these 2 hours. And then as I began to writing, get a little bit more comfortable with writing, I decided to bump up my number and to bump up the frequency. So look at your time that you have available to you and create goals. So 1, create the writing goal. 2, block off time to where you have dedicated time and find a dedicated space. And for me, it was in my basement of the house that I was living in and in my bedroom. And so that's when I started to really hone in on my writing goals and set my word count goal and looking at my energy level and see what was best for me, either the morning, afternoon, or the evening time. Secret number 2 is to give yourself permission to be a writer. Now, as silly as that sounds, some of us don't really truly think that we're a writer. Maybe because in our past experiences, someone told you that you couldn't write or you weren't good at English or you didn't develop sentences correctly. So we have to get over that self-doubt, right? And understanding that all of us can be writers. It may take some time, a little bit more effort, but we can all put pen to paper and really start putting our thoughts out, creating a theme or a topic, or even how often how you're able to lay out your book. If it's that, time, like chronological, geographical, thinking those things through. But we all are writers in our own right. Now, we don't have to feel 100% confident in writing, y'all. We just know that through our lived experiences, we have knowledge that may be helpful for someone else. And number 3 secret is to be able to announce our intention to write a book. Now, To get to the announcement requires courage. And so I use positive affirmations, if you will, pumping myself up to actually put that out there in the atmosphere that I'm writing a book. And those people that I shared this to, they were holding me accountable and asking me, well, how's it been? How further along are you writing your book? When can we expect to see this out? So when I was able to put it out there, people were so interested. I had mentors, that came in, seasoned mentors, seasoned writers that said, hey, what's going on? And I overcame some of that imposter syndrome that comes with writing out your story. Because people might judge them. They might, twist the things around. And so you have to stay focused on your why. Why are you writing your book? And what message are you intending for the audience that you've been called to write to? So those are my 3 secrets of how I was able to not only write my book, but I also self-published through Amazon in February of 2021. So those 3 tips again is hold yourself accountable, give yourself permission to be a writer, and last but not least is to announce your intention to write that book. Keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. This is your Slay Queen, your Slay Coach, #Slay. Bye-bye.